Good morning and welcome back to Hammond's Upholstery. The sun's made an appearance today, so it's looking better at the moment. So we've got a few bits and pieces going on in the workshop, as always, fingers crossed. So let's take a wander and show you what we're on with at the moment. Go on, Tucker. Let's go and show what we're doing. He says I'll sit out here if you're all the same with you. Right, so this leather chair, I need to get on with it. We've got a set of 6 dining chairs come in. You can see the seats are rotted away. Lovely chairs, very well manufactured. But the cover's worn. They'll last them another 20 years when we've done them. The cushion there ready to go back. Slipper chair still waiting to get on with. This is what I wanted to show you today. In the last video I may have mentioned it. It's a stitching repair to a customer's leather sofa. So as you can see here, the stitching's torn. That looks like some glue or something. Customers attempted to just patch that up. So there's the rest of the base, and the backs are still on the van. So it may seem quite minor to the average person. Oh, the stitches just come apart, can you repair that? It's not something that we would repair in situ by slip stitching. Yes, theoretically we could slip stitch it, but as for the durability of it, in this case the leather hasn't broken away, but the majority of them, what you find is this leather's broken away, so then you have to stitch further in, and it's easier to stitch the whole seam in than try and patch it and make it look uneven. So it's a case of having to strip this seat. This, you can see, is a double electric recliner. It's the centre panel that's gone. The rest of the sofa is fine, so it certainly justifies doing it. But point being, we've had to take the seat out, take the sofa away. I've now got to unpick all this fabric so we can remove the cover in its entirety. There's the front kick panel there, to then be able to put this underneath the sewing machine and sew it back up, and then it'll be good to go again and put it back together. So that's what I'm on with currently. We have this wing chair, which is possibly going to get its own video, but what I will tell you is that the customer is shocked with the quality of the upholstery workmanship she's had done. I'm flabbergasted that the person that did it was able to get away with upholstering it to such a poor standard. We've been asked to repair the seat, not address all the other issues with it, because the customer doesn't want to spend any more money. But she does realise that now, having spoken to me, that we wouldn't have charged her any more than what she was charged to have it done poorly, to have it done professionally, albeit the person that did it claims to be a professional. Anyway, that's going to get its own video, so we'll go in more depth on that one later. So the kettle's just boiled. I'm going to make a cup of tea and get on with stripping the fabric off of this centre panel. Well, I'll come back to you once I've got it unpicked, and I can show you what we find inside, just so you, for curiosity. Okay, so we'll be back soon. So that's the cover unpicked. So let's peel this off and see what we find underneath. A lot of the times the cushion can be separate. Right, okay, so it looks like the cushion's in 2 parts in this one. We got a zip section to the back, so we can get the feel out there, and looks like the front fill here goes in from the front because this pulls over. So we'll get this onto the bench and get the fills out. Just out of curiosity for you, that's what's underneath the cushion. So this one's got 4 springs in it. It has got canvas. A lot of the times we don't see canvas, and it's constructed out of a bit of 18mm chipboard, plywood to the side for the strengthening and the stretcher rails. So not poorly constructed. I've seen a lot worse. This one's got some decent wood in it for a change. Here we go. Let's get this on the bench and get the camera set up for you. Right, let's get the back fill out. I'm going to mark it. It's fairly obvious, but if I was to come back to it at a later date, it may not be so obvious. So we're just going to mark that and get the foam out. I'll mark the front edge on this foam as well, because it does have a shape to it. Now that may be purely just because it's collapsed on that edge there, but we'll put it back in the same way. Again, front edge on the front cushion, just in case we don't come back to it straight away. So there's the front edge cushion. So now we're getting to the bones of it. We're almost at a point where we can think about sewing this up. So I can theoretically get to the splitting the lever from here now. I'm hoping that the split does not go all the way to the edge, because then I will have to unpick the side of the cushion as well. I'll show you what I mean. When I say the edge, I mean this edge here. I'm hoping that the split, this is where the split is in the lever, or the stitching doesn't go all the way to this, because then I've got to unpick that as well. Initially looking at it, it doesn't look that that's the case, so I should be able to just get this underneath the sewing machine. There you go, there's the split. It doesn't go to the edge, which is here, so we can get this underneath the sewing machine and stitch this edge and lock stitch it so it shouldn't come apart again. As I say, the customer was relatively lucky that the lever itself has not deteriorated and come away. It's better to get these things repaired sooner rather than later when there's more damage. So let's get this underneath the sewing machine and then we can get it back together. But as you can see, all the real work is getting to this to do the repair. It's going to take me 30 seconds on the sewing machine to repair this, but to get to this is where the hard work is. And as you see, we've had to strip pretty much the sofa, or dismantle it and then strip the centre section to do it. But let's get this sewn back and we'll come back to you. Right, so I double stitched that, put 2 rows of stitching along there. I went over the original stitching and then did another stitch line, a couple of mil inside that one, just to help take the strain off of that joint. I think that's going to be absolutely fine now. So turn it back the right way, just visually inspect it, It's got a little bit of damage around there because of the glue that the customer attempted to rectify a repair with, but it is all stitched back together, so that's fine. So I've put it back together in the same way that it came apart. Let's put the front piece in, like so. Making sure it's tucked right the way in, into the corners, and then the back piece, observing the marks that I've put on it to make sure that I put it in the right way first time. So, relatively simple repair once you've got it stripped. All the work is getting it stripped to get to this position. Trying to rectify a repair without taking this off of the job to do it is difficult, to say the least. But could I do a repair from the top? Yes, I could have slip stitched this with a heavy wax cotton, but it would have damaged the perforations that were already there from the original stitching and put that under a lot of tension. So durability wise, I don't know. I couldn't say. All I do know is that doing it this way, what I deem the proper way, is more durable, and it's concealed. You're not going to see that there's been a repair there, other than the little bit of damage to the finish on the leather from where the customer had attempted a repair with some glue. But other than that, you're not, if they hadn't have done that, you'd have never seen the repair. So need to get this back onto the frame and back into the rest of the seat platform with the arms on it, and then it's ready to go back to the customer. It'll be good as new. So there you have it. The stitching's been repaired here, and the seat is back in, ready to be returned to the customer. So we're just going to give it a wipe down and a treatment with some leather food, just to clean it up a little bit. Customer hasn't asked us to do that, but it's always nice to return it back in better condition than we picked it up, so we'll give it a bit of a clean as well. So there you go, a relatively simple repair, but as you can see for yourself, to do the job properly, we've got to strip it out to do it, whether it's just the one centre seat that's damaged, or 2 or 3. And then if it gets to these side ones, we have to take the arms off of them to be able to do it, and the actions out, so that's even more work involved. So a little simple, can you just fix this split stitching, isn't quite as simple as that. Hope this has been informative. I hope you've learned a little bit and enjoyed it. So we'll crack on with the next one.